Hey, Paul here for Retro Gaming Arts, and it's at the end of 2017, and I just beat Shenmue for the very first time. And so this is going to be my thoughts about Shenmue. But first, why have I not beaten Shenmue before? It was never my fault, and it was never Shenmue's fault. It was always the disc not working, or the Dreamcast not working. But now that I fix all my own consoles and fix all sorts of consoles, Dreamcast not working, it's never an issue anymore. So another thing though was I did VGA mod a Dreamcast so I could play Shenmue in the best picture quality possible. But then I got rid of my TV that had a VGA port and my new TV didn't. So I ended up putting it on hold for a little bit, waiting till I could play it and get the best picture quality. So I ended up getting the Akura box so I could play it VGA, hooked up to my big screen in HDMI, and I went out and I got 2 copies so that disc breaking is never going to be an issue again. And so I'm good. So I started Shenmue, and it was one of the best gaming experiences of my life. What I remember from it, from first playing it, all the times where I tried to in the past, was being fascinated with, you could put in a quarter and the thing will come out of the little machine, and you could pick it up and move your hand. You can open a drawer and pick up stuff and move it, and you could just explore and knock on doors. I must have knocked on every single door in Shenmue, and that's like all I did when I was younger. I just walked around knocking on doors. Nobody was ever home, but whatever, it didn't matter. The fact that you could blew me away. So it had a draw. I had a draw to the game. I just never beat it until now. And it was, like I said, it was one of the best gaming experiences ever. And why Shenmue is one of the best gaming experiences ever is because it has a pulse. It has a heartbeat. The game has a life. All the different characters in the game, they all have their own life that's going on. Their life is happening while you're playing the game, even though you don't see it. And an example of that is like when somebody tells me something, I'm like, oh, I need to get more information. Let me go talk to Fuka-san. Hold on, let me look at my watch. Oh, it's too late. Fuka-san's not at the dojo anymore. It's too late to talk to him. Wait a minute, maybe he's in bed. I can go to his room and maybe I can talk to him. The fact that the game makes you think like that is one of the is amazing. The fact that they all have their own life and you have to be like conscientious of it and be like, oh, it's too late to talk to Fuka-san. Or like when you're out exploring the world, you have to pay attention to your watch because you're like, oh, I don't want to come home too late. Ine-san may be disappointed in me if I come home late again, and she may get mad at me. Like, what? Like you're like, I need to go home because I don't want somebody to be disappointed in me. Like the game makes you think that way. And I played Horizon Zero Dawn recently, and I never felt that way. It's a completely different game, and I understand it's totally out of, but you know what I mean. I don't get that from newer games. I don't get that. Like, I felt in Shenmue like, oh, I need to go pay attention to Nozomi because she may like not have a crush on me anymore if I stop talking to her. I don't know. Or our relationship may not flourish if, like, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't know. I was like, I should just go talk to her. It just has this draw in this life and then the story itself is just Ryo's determination and will stop at nothing to find out. I don't want to explain too much or anything pretty much because just in case you haven't played Shenmue, that's why there's no gameplay footage. Because just in case you haven't played it, I want you to play it. I want you to experience it, and I don't want you to know anything really that's going to happen except for how awesome it is. I want you to experience what I felt and what the game has. Just that pulse. And even though the voice acting is very over the top and a little ridiculous, it adds charm. It adds to the game's character. And it's just like any time like that little old lady on the corner goes, oh, hello, Ryo. Like, I loved that. I just loved it. Even though it was so goofy, it added so much personality to the game. And that's what I feel a lot of these new big blockbuster AAA titles lack. And I miss it. And that's why we all play these old games still, because of the life that they have, the charm, the character, the personality. And Shenmue is no exception, and it lacks none of that. And if you've played Shenmue, let me know if you've beaten Shenmue, if you've played Shenmue 2. Oh, and Shenmue 2. I just started Shenmue 2, but what the most awesome thing was how Shenmue 1 ended and then Shenmue 2 started. Just seamless. I don't think I've ever experienced that before. In a sequel from one game to the next, that seamlessness is just, it's a work of art. The cinematography of like the cutscenes of how it looks like a movie of like the way the camera angle goes. It's a masterpiece. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's up there with some of the best gaming experiences I've ever had. Still to this day, because I just beat it just now, and it still holds up. So if you haven't played Shenmue, please go play it. You're gonna love it. It's a little slow, but it's okay, because it just adds to the game. It just adds. So let me know what you've played, if you played Shenmue, if you haven't played, let me know all of that. Thank you guys very much for watching. Thanks for watching all my other videos, checking out the channel, supporting, all of that kind of stuff. I appreciate it greatly, and I'll see you next time.